Hasbro is born again with their new release of D&D, but I'm done. I'll go over why you don't need to be afraid to be done with them either. What's up? This is Guys Night Gaming, where I attempt to cultivate community through gaming. Remember not to subscribe to the channel, like, or share with family or friends. So is it 1 D&D yet? Is it 5e still, or 5.5? I'm not really sure where that's at right now. Even having that kind of question about your game kind of puts a bad aura around it, I think. But that's the least of the worries for the new D&D, in my opinion. So the new release has officially sealed the deal for me. With Hasbro. With the removal of orcs, half-race, races, or species now, whatever you want to call it. It could be seen as the last nail in the coffin for many people, and that kind of seems like what's going on in the community online. To be honest, these changes are moot for me. They're the least of my worries or issues with Hasbro, because we all know that our D&D is what we make of it. Just because classic orcs or half races are gone from the new book doesn't mean that they don't have to. It doesn't mean they go anywhere. Our game is our game, and we play how we want at our table. No one tells me how to play my D&D games. That's for damn sure. So, like many, my issues is with the corporate practices of Hasbro. They're scummy, they're insulting, they're disrespectful to the community that's built up the brand for them. I bet you know about most of those issues if you've been around for the last little bit. Things like the OGL scandal, the PINKERTONS thing with Magic the Gathering, the layoffs, the attempts to rip the very heart out of the game to go full on AI and a subscriber-based payment method that would basically paywall tools that they have online for people to use. I think we all know this is probably where they're going, and it's probably going to happen. But in case you aren't familiar with some of these things, I'll quickly go over them to just refresh in people's memory. So in case you don't know, the OGL thing, in early 2023, WotC wanted to make changes to the Open Gaming License. This thing made it so independent creators and fans could make stuff for D&D and make a profit without having to worry about Hasbro coming after them. The new proposal basically wanted the creators to give Hasbro money, report revenues, and other corporate shenanigans, et cetera, insert evil corporation things. WotC got pretty much owned and lost a ton of subscriptions on their D&D Beyond platform, and later retracted their attempt to monopolize the industry. So the Pinkertons thing, again in 2023, WotC sent Pinkertons to the YouTuber Old School MTG, I believe it is, to his house to retrieve leaked Magic the Gathering cards that he revealed on his channel, not knowing that they weren't out. Of course, he was then threatened with fines and jail time, basically treating the guy like a criminal. Then we'll move to the layoffs. Really, 2023 was their year. They really amped it up. At the end of the year, in December, right before Christmas, they decided to lay off 20% of their global workforce. Amounted to around 1,100 jobs. What kind of assholes do that? Not someone that I want to support. And that's not even mentioning earlier in 2023, they had eliminated around 800 other positions. So in total, it was like 1,900 jobs that had been lost at WotC or Hasbro. But at least those ones weren't right before Christmas, so not quite as bad. AI is a pretty controversial topic. The move to AI in different aspects of the game bring about questions of ethical implications concerning artists' work and whatnot, and it being integrated into the gameplay with things like AI DMs and stuff. Sounds just like another trash AAA game, in my opinion. That's totally lost the essence of what D&D actually is, where you get around a table and play with people and shoot the shit and have fun. And I love the art of the game. They have great artists. and I love the building of the worlds and stuff like that, and the stories. So this whole AI thing is kind of just that one's out for me too. And then the last thing, which isn't surprising, subscription-based stuff. Lastly, I know for sure Hasbro's trying to go this route just with some of the various things they've done, and having everything behind a paywall to be able to use D&D Beyond and the tools that it provides. I mean, for me, the writing is on the wall for that one. But I say, fear not, my fellow gamers. We need not support such cruelties. There are plenty of fun games out there to be played, and I'll go over a few of them here. Some I've played, some I'm waiting to play. And I'm going to give myself about 2 minutes for each, just to get through this really quickly. So, very high-level overview of these games. So I'm gonna set my timer here. Make sure I don't go over. 1 second. Stopwatch. All right, here we go. First one, Cyberpunk 2020. I've talked about it multiple times on my channel. It's a big difference in play style from D&D 5e. It's a lot more crunchy, and I'll be honest, if my love for the world of Cyberpunk wasn't so deep, I would have stopped playing this game probably after the first or second session. In other words, this tabletop is not for beginners, I wouldn't say. However, the world of Cyberpunk is vast. It's got a detailed history throughout different pieces of media, books for the tabletop, novels, animations, movies, stuff like that. The customization of the characters in this game, I think, is top notch with all the different cybernetic elements and some of the different classes that you can play in the game. So you got unique ones like medias, working for the news, rocker boys, techies, net runners, and a few other ones. They also have the net running, which for this game is notoriously hard to master, and it has a pretty bad rap. And as a DM, I'm able to be a part of that lore and the history of the Cyberpunk, because currently we're in 2027 with the new video game and some of the animations. And being able to go backtrack and be in that story is really awesome, I think. Next one I got is Travelers. This one I'm actually playing as a character. I'm not DMing. So this Travelers is yet another sci-fi tabletop RPG that looks to be the theme of most of the games in this list that I have here, which is surprising now that I put the list together. For this game, like I said, I'm actually a player, so it's cool to be able to work with the mechanics with my character in a way that's not in a DM kind of way. And this game we're talking about, this is kind of high sci-fi, laser guns, vac suits, spacewalking, exploring planets, and driving spaceships. I think that is one of the coolest things ever. We have that coming up in our campaign. I'm super jazzed about it. We got a huge 3D print that's going to be on the table. It's going to be sick. The idea of having our own spaceship it just kicks ass, okay? And it just reminds me of some of the old space adventures I grew up with, things like Star Wars. The Traveler world is also pretty fleshed out, and the game has, I think, one of the best character creation methods I've had the pleasure of actually being a part of. So yeah, it's a good game, and I suggest that one as well. So this third one I'm suggesting, I have not played yet, but I have the starter set, and I'm pretty jazzed to play it. Blade Runner. So we will keep the sci-fi train rolling here. Blade Runner, I think it's 2049, the movie, are on my top 10 movies list. I love the world of Blade Runner, the rainy, sad, dystopian, metropolis, eating noodles at the bar. And when I saw that Free League was launching a Blade Runner Kickstarter, I just couldn't resist. I got the starter pack. The cool thing about this game is that it has a focus on humanity and belonging because of the replicants in this world. It also has a focus on investigation style gameplay and timelines for investigation, so it really utilizes nighttime and daytime in the gameplay. And yeah, I've never actually played it yet, but I do plan to. But I'm very excited to get into this one because of the investigation style. I never really put stories together like that as I'm DMing. But one of the last times we played Cyberpunk 2020, we had a mission that turned into a peer investigation style mission. And it ended up being one of the best we've ever run. Everybody was engaged. It went along smoothly, and it was just super fun playing with the NPCs and the people at the table. So the starter set, it comes with some pretty cool stuff. It comes with maps, character sheets, pre-built characters, of course the rule book, and some handouts for the investigation, like evidence. And I would definitely recommend this game or anything from Free League, for that matter. All right, I'm about a minute ahead where I need to be. So next one, Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory. With our break from Cyberpunk 2020 coming up, I was able to land this starter set from a local gaming store. It's a used copy of Wrath and Glory. We're going to run it in my group, probably a one-shot, just to see how it goes. I have a lot of 40k fans in the group, and it'd be cool to, see if this is something that we'd actually like to continue playing. But some of the features of this game that I like are that not only do you have a chance to play as Space Marines, but you can play as normal people, Imperial Guards. You can play as the Orcs, the Xenos, the Eldar, and then also Chaos followers. So you've got a wide bandwidth to actually explore the 40k world. You can play in a tier-based difficulty. So top tier Imperial Guards, bottom tier your Primaris Marines. Super badass. And that changes the difficulty, and it stays true to the grim dark setting of 40k as far as the rules read anyways. I definitely see this game having a long-term shelf life with a group, and definitely my group, just with those play style things incorporated in the game. So as of right now, I haven't played it, but I think I would recommend it, especially if you're a 40k fan. So the next one I'm going to recommend, we're actually going to divvy a little bit and go and do some cosmic horror, H.P. Lovecraft, and some Murder, She Wrote. If you don't know what that is, and I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't. It's a old show, but it's called Brindlewood Bay. This tabletop game actually gets your characters to play old grannies in a underground book club that read lots of books, and they like to solve mysteries in their quaint little town. To me, this idea is fucking hilarious, and I can see my group really taking the RP to the next level on this. So that theme is really cool, and I also want to try out the system. It's powered by the Apocalypse system that emphasizes narrative storytelling, and collaboration between the players. So the mysteries aren't actually predetermined as to what's going on. It's all determined by the clues and evidence that your players are able to find throughout the mystery. So I think this one sounds pretty fun, and I would definitely recommend it. So last recommendation, Dark Sun. I love Dark Sun. Please, Hasbro, stay away from this one. You guys do not have the balls to bring this up to modern times. So just leave it as it is. Dark Sun is a dystopian Mad Max world mixed with D&D. I've never actually played 2nd edition or Dark Sun. It's also in 4th edition, but I have a nostalgic feeling for it when I read through it and stuff. This game is all about the setting for me right now. I'm diving into a lot of the lore through these books, the novels, lore videos on YouTube, and getting through the Prism Pentad, the 2nd edition book, and some of the video games on my computer from good old games. So I'm hoping to run this setting in the future, West Marches style play. It'd probably take some ideas from Extreme Dungeon Master or Lazy Dungeon Master to speed up gameplay and whatnot with 2nd edition as I learn that. But I want to get a large group of people from my community to play in this style of campaign. I think combining Dark Sun settings with the West Marches play styles just sounds like a lot of fun. That is all for this week. Vote with your wallet, people. It's okay to dump Hasbro. It is not you, it's them. So don't worry about it. Don't forget to unsubscribe to the channel if you like the content. This has been Guys Night Gaming, and I hope you learned something, and I hope you play something soon. I'll talk to you next time.